All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Coffee Q&A. I think we're running. So this is, oops, let me turn this off. This is the Barista Virtuoso, and the Barista Virtuoso is one of the older machines out in the business for decades now. And this is the first generation of Barista Virtuoso. Now, this was a little bit different in that it has what was called the Isato scale. So this will actually do dose by weight to your to the grinder. So you kind of add this base to it. It's fairly heavy. It's fairly bulky. It takes up a lot more space on your countertop. Part of it's the scale. Part of it is the electronics. And part of it is also just a space to put the cabling from this into here. So it works pretty darn good. And this particular Baratza Virtuoso is the one that I bought back in 2007. And at the time, I bought it used. The Baratza Virtuoso, there's a new one called the Baratza Virtuoso Plus, which incorporates this scale thing into just the housing here. So it's so much more compact today, and it's pretty good. It's a solid grinder. For many years, I recommended this grinder for most of my customers who came into the shop and were like, "What kind of grinder should I get home? I don't want to spend too much money." Baratza Virtuoso. The Encore was like $150. This was like $250, and then they go up from there. But this is, I think, the right compromise. You know, it's not so plasticky. I mean, it's a lot of it's plastic, but it's not so plasticky as the Encore, but not so expensive as the larger ones like the Forte and other stuff like that. But the Virtuoso, I think, is the right blend of basic good grinder for home for most people. Now, a lot of you guys, of course, are real enthusiasts, so you have much more specified needs, and nothing wrong with that. So, good morning to all of you. Coffee Cove. Anton, I saw you were here earlier before we started. Looks like oh, you mean the start? Yeah. I'm just trying to figure this out. Like I said, so I'm watching everything on this monitor here. So, unlike as I've been doing with when I use the phone, when I've typically been using the FaceTime camera. Oops. The screen, the camera that's on the screen side, where I can see it live and in the moment. Now I'm doing it this way, which means that there's a lag, but it also means that everything from the way the YouTube streaming, it means that everything is like, it says Baratza instead of A'azabarab, right? So that's one of the reasons we're trying this. And since we're in a position where I can control that, and I have to see, I'll make a camera adjustment, and then it takes like several seconds for me to see it live. So anyway, so this is the Baratza Virtuoso, and I've had this, like I said, since 2007. It's been a solid performer. It's always worked. I think maybe I might have had one problem. Maybe the problem is if I turn it too far, it won't start because it locks out or something. Yeah, when you take it off, it doesn't work with you. Something like that. Oh, here, let me. If I do this, it doesn't turn on. But if I do this, it turns on, right? So if I turn it on and I go too far, it shuts off automatically. So those are the only problems I may have had at some point that I can think of. And I've had this for 18 years. It's 18 years old, and I don't know how old it was when I bought it, right? So, Keone's with us. Aloha to you, Keone. Anton says, well, Kent, how are you? Naomi, good to see you as well. Anton says, I know you're talking about reliability, but currently it can be assumed you put the ode back together incorrectly. Well, that would be well, maybe not incorrectly. Like if we did incorrectly, I don't think it would work, but maybe slightly. Okay, incorrectly to the German precision mindset. I'm glad we're finally getting. All right, so good morning to you, Andrew. So what we're going to do is we should make coffee first, right? So making coffee should be our first priority. As you can see, I didn't really change anything since yesterday. I kind of had to run to Pennsylvania right after we finished the live stream, so I did not clean anything. But we're going to make coffee, and we're going to make the same style of coffee with the Kogu, but this time we're going to, instead of using the Yemeni, we're going to go back and use our Misty Valley. The Misty Valley, Ethiopia, from Abdullah Ben Gersh, the G1 Yirgacheffe. And I figured we'd do this because, I wanted to see what does it taste like as a pour over in this Kogu. And more importantly, I thought that, maybe you would like to see that. And also, I brought the scale today. I brought out a scale so that, I figured you guys were like getting like itchy because I haven't been measuring I wasn't measuring the coffee yesterday. So we're going to measure the coffee today. Come on now. Is the battery dead? Okay, the battery's not dead. This is an Atom 3000. So when a lot of these companies, Atom, OHOS, when they have their numbers, that usually means the maximum capacity of that scale. And so the Atom 3000 has a 3,000 gram maximum weight, maximum capacity, and it has a 1 gram resolution. So this is not as granular as, say, the fellow. What's the scale we use from fellow? The SE, the Tally Pro from fellow. So it doesn't have that granularity, but for most purposes, for the last 15 years, 1 gram resolution is perfectly fine. Now we're in a new era of hardcore coffee people, so it's not so enough. 17 grams, 20 grams, 23, 24 grams. But we use this particular atom. We use this at the shop for many years. We also use a lot of the OHOS C2000s, which I think are really wonderful little tiny compact scales that are accurate. And the new generation of scales is totally different now, but this was, for many years, these were great scales to use, and I really enjoyed using them. So let's go. We should use our Barista. I just brought the Barista. Should we grind with the Barista, or should we grind with, we should use the fellow, because the fellow is why we're here. So I've got the fellow OG2 right here, and it is, it has, as much as we're here today because we're here to see issues with the fellow. Let me just readjust this again. Maybe I should just push this further back. This is how long it takes for me to catch up on the screen. So if we, I don't know what I'm talking about. We are using, and here's the problem. Here's the problem, right? I can take this Virtuoso Virtuoso. It's plugged into a power strip that I have on the side of the workbench where the camera is located. I can sit this Virtuoso Virtuoso here with the Isato scale, and I can have it plugged in. I can turn it on. I cannot do that with this. I just realized this cable is too. I get it, you have these cutesy setups where you want to like have it in your kitchen or somewhere where you don't really want to deal with a long cable and kind of hide it. But this, we are constantly being limited by the cable on this grinder. Do I have an extension cord somewhere? I guess I'm not so prepared, because we do want to see the problem with the grinder, right? We want to see that happen. Okay, hold on a second. Let me plug this in over here. See, that's still not enough. That's irritating. Maybe closer. Okay, that'll just reach. That's maximum. So this is the workbench. Here is the plug, and that's how far it goes. And yes, there it is. Okay, so the problem we've experienced with this is that it will seize or it'll feel really, really tight. It won't do it today. I'm sure it won't do it today. Oh, there, right there, it's getting snug. Why? Why are you snug? What is happening? And if I turned it on, we'd hear some weird noises. Like it's really, like here, it flows very smoothly, right? Now here, snug. Like, look, I'm not holding down on it, but I'm showing you if I put the same amount of pressure, I can twist it this way. But if I I can force it. But this is something that comes up every once in a while. Now let's turn it on and see what happens. Or let me see what you guys are saying before I start. Maybe you have something to say. Here's what I'm seeing. Have you reached out to Fellow yet? No, I have not reached out to Fellow yet. I'm a guy. We don't reach out. We just bash and go forward. I know you're talking about reliability, but currently, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, don't worry. This is what I see. You could see now what I normally see from the other laptop. JR's with us. Good morning to you. Malku, how are you doing? Naomi says, are we using the Virtuoso because the Ode is somewhere else, or is the Ode shut? No. We just have them. I'm just using that to make a point. That's all. Keone says, I have 4 grinders, 2 for the condo and 2 for the home. Oh man, it's nice to have nice to have a condo and a home. I use one for filter and one for espresso for each area. Oh, nice. Option O products for the condo and Zerno Z1 and soon the Z2 for the home. I sold my P54, P64, and the Niche Zero. Oh, nice. Very nice. Let's enjoy the roaring one with the roaring. Oh, see, sometimes it does that. It jumps, and now I don't know where we are. Oh, you got the Primo grinders? Oh, yeah, nice. Yes, for sure. He always has the Primo stuff. Coffee Cove says, I heard I have that Barazza too. Got a single dose hopper for it. The one thing I don't like is that they are not easy to work on. It was hard taking the shell off and, I've never had to take it off. Like I've never had any problems with this to warrant me to like fix anything, right? So maybe it's just the luck of the draw. I mean, I'm sure everything breaks. Like I have a Forte that I won as one of the prizes for the 2012 AeroPress Championship. And we used that for like years. For like 2 years, we used it on the bar at Spro, making like grinding coffee for a lot of the pour over brews that we're doing, the little single origin brews. And, eventually it kind of like had an issue. I put it back in its box. I have no idea what's wrong with it. I never even bothered to look. I figured, well, we used it for a couple of years. We got our money's worth out of it. But as far as the hopper, that's cool. I didn't know they made a single dose hopper. I haven't done that only because I'm cheap and I don't want to spend money. That's the only reason. That's the only reason for anything. I don't want to spend money. I'm cheap. You end up sending to Barazza to fix. Nice. Paige, good morning to you. Anton says, it gets stuck means that there's new zero. Probably means one of the burr screws is not in all the way. Okay, we will look for that. Coffee Cove says, don't worry about the typos. We're not the spelling Gestapo here. Anton says, don't turn it on that state. Please don't. At least go a bit coarser. Naomi, I had a fellow Ode, says Keone, but I was disappointed with the inconsistencies in build quality, so replaced with the option O, Casa, and have been really happy with it. Anton says, just the thought of it okay, just for you, Anton, we will not start it there. I will back it off here. So this is where, right here, 5 and 1 notch is where the snugness starts. So I'm going to back it up to 6, and then now we're going to hit the button. Okay, listen. Mother of gosh, that's enough. Okay. That's enough. That's enough now. I'm going to unplug it. So now we've seen what the issue is, or at least we hear some kind of issue. Now, I don't know somehow the burrs are moving and they are sounding like they are impacting in some way. Now we have done in the past, we've turned it and it just kind of cleared it up. But first, coffee. Let me readjust the computer so I can see what you guys are saying. Okay, we've got our 24 grams of coffee. Okay, we're going to use the Barazza. And the Barazza we would use, I think 7. Maybe is that right? We would use, no, we would here. So if we're going to do pour over, I normally choose somewhere here in the center of the scale. So because Naomi's here, we have to tell her what number this is. This number scale goes from 0 to 40. So we're going to go to like 20. And because we haven't used this, I haven't used this in a while. And normally when I use this, I'm using it to make an Avid Clever brewer. So I'm really just got it cranked pretty much all the way to coarse. And I just never worry about it because, I'm just drinking coffee. And like I said yesterday in other episodes, for me, when you have great coffee, you've already got half the battle, or 60%, 70%, 80% of the battle. And the other 20% I'm not too worried about for personal drinking. So we're going to go here right to the center. And on the scale, on this, it's solid. And I think the new Virtuoso Plus has a lot of these components built into it. On this particular one, it has 3 settings where you can already pre-program your weights. And so I have them programmed like 30 grams, 60 grams. Mainly I have it with higher numbers only because I'm actually, if I'm weighing it out, I'm going to weigh it out separately. I'm not really relying on this to weigh it out for me. So this way I can take my 24, I can take this 60, turn it on, dump it in, and that's it. I don't have to worry. It'll grind all the way through and grind all the coffee and get all the coffee out of the machine as much as it can. And that's it. And it still runs because we're at 24.2 grams and it wants to get 60 because that's what I have it set at. So I just hit the button and turn off. And I don't think I ever explained that when we were using this on the live stream. So in case you may have wondered back then, this is exactly this is why I do what I do with this particular, but the scale itself is accurate. I just don't want to leave coffee in the hopper. That's really it. Naomi says, I don't have a Virtuoso, so a number isn't needed. Well, why did I waste my effort then? Now I feel used. Kelly says, Anton, both Option O and Zerno have really good customer service, very quick and responsive. Oh, that's good. It's always good to know when customer service is good. Okay, so we've got our Kogu brewer, Kogu filter. And we're just going to put the coffee in here and make it up nice. Anton says, all Virtuosos have left. I know that you guys don't think the Virtuoso is, one of the championship grinders in 2025. And certainly it's not, I would not classify this, as much as I like the Barazza and the Virtuoso, I recommend it to people all the time, even still today. I can recognize that this would not necessarily be the coffee grinder of choice for enthusiasts and connoisseurs, because it's just older technology. There's new stuff out there like the Ode Gen 2, or any of the ones that Keone has, the Zerno and the Option O. Okay, so we got what's a little bit coarse. You can see it's a little bit on the coarser side. So perhaps I might want the next round to go a little bit finer. Right, a little bit finer. Can you see that? Maybe I didn't get close enough. There we go. All right. And like we can also put this on the scale so we can measure out our water. Let me zero this out. One of the problems with this particular scale is that we beat it up so much that the 0 no longer works. So I have to turn it off and turn it on in order for it to tear. This is really, outside of the stuff that I'm buying for the show, this particular live stream and videos, most of my stuff in my house and I'm actually brewing coffee on for myself on a normal basis is pretty janky because it's all leftover equipment from the shops. And you know, again, like I said, I'm relatively cheap, and I don't want to I don't want to use. Let's say if I've got like a whole if I've got a like cases like this was true especially the day, like I would have cases of product, right? Cases of AeroPress, cases of AeroPresses, cases of Chemexes, cases of Clevers. I would never take the new stock to use at home because it'd be like, well, why would I do that? Like, I could sell that and make a profit and pay my people. Or if I take it home and I eat it, then I eat it completely. So I would wait until something breaks or something. Like all my Chemexes at home for the longest time were cracked, right? They crack, I take it home. And then I use it until it breaks or it gets too cracked, and then it's like, then we toss it. So, you know, and like if you've seen the Clever that I have here, and it's pretty like stained and old and cracked and, you know, just kind of busted in some way. Okay, so we're gonna put this, let me put this closer to you so I'm waiting for me to catch up on the screen. Okay, that doesn't work. None of that works. I missed the overhead cam. Okay, so we're 0 on the scale, so we're going to add 80 grams of water with our Zoju Rushi just for our pre-wetting. 69, 76, 78, 80. 80 on the money. Look at that. That is pretty good. Now, it's flowing pretty fast. I can see it's flowing very fast. So it is very coarse. So that's an issue. And like it's already flowed through, and with how many seconds? I don't know. Anton says optional, just tease their new 80 millimeter grinder. That's pretty big. With a completely new 80 millimeter burr geometry. And the option O is a 65 millimeter conical burr, but the burr that comes out is very similar to a flat. So do you guys prefer flat burrs rather than conical burrs? Coffee Cove says, I will check that optional grinder out, but I pre-ordered the Zerno Z2 for filter, but want one espresso dedicated. Nice, nice. I mean, I can't fault you guys for wanting to have dedicated grinders, because I have dedicated. I use dedicated grinders, so it's a good thing. It's a good practice. It's a good practice. And Yomi wants to know, can the Z2 also do espresso grind? I think Anton says, of course. Also, you can pick the burrs. 80 millimeter has a rather broad choice. Oh, nice. If you want to do espresso, you can go for HU. What's HU? Hit me up is HU. Kyori says, I've seen that, but I'm very satisfied with my O1 with 102 millimeter. Wow, 102 millimeter. That's bigger than my own burrs on the professional machines. You could turn the scale. Oh, you mean to me? No, I'm a professional. I can read from above. Like right now it says 283. 315. Anton says, you mean Meisens? There are no lab suites for 102 size. I don't understand what that means. Paige says HU is high uniformity. Ah, gotcha. And Anton says that too. Gotcha. Again, I still don't know what that means. 344, 345, 46, 47, 352. Ah. Okay, we'll let that flow through. We poured 352 grams, and if I don't know if you can see the color. To me, it looks pretty thin. It looks fairly thin today. Kiona says, sorry, I thought he was talking about the X2. Yes, Meisens for the 102 millimeter O1. Yes. Paige says, it's the bird geometry, essentially. Question. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't correct you because I don't even know. I don't even understand. I'm not much into light roast, says Naomi, maybe because I haven't made it right or haven't even had a tasty light roast yet because it's under extracted and raw. No, they all have a tart component. I don't care. And that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Some people really like it. To me, it's just like all the young cats have for the last like 10 years or maybe 15, 20 years have been like, oh, IPA in craft brewing. IPA. And they want like more hops, hops. I think that's disgusting. Like, I'm just like, what? To me, it tastes like I'm drinking marijuana leaves. I'm like, why am I drinking marijuana? I'm not here to drink marijuana. If anything, I must smoke it or eat it in gummy bears. As long as they're not Haribo diet with the sugar-free, then you're gonna be high while you're going to the bathroom. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing. But yeah, I think it's kind of like that. Like a lot of people are really into the high hops IPAs. I'm not a fan, and I think the people that are really into high hops IPA, at least in my limited experience, the people that are into the high hops IPAs are also the people that are really into bright coffees. So I think there's a correlation there that goes hand in hand. Look at that, perfect, just perfect for my little thermal mug. Okay, so we're gonna have this now. Put all this aside, and now we can finally look at the issues pertaining to this grinder. Now that we have our coffee brewed. But before we get to that, we're going to have a little bit of a taste of our... It's bright, it's light, it's kind of thin. Still some sweetness. And look at this thing. This thing is all over the place. Okay, now, what I did bring today was a little bit of bread pudding. Bread pudding. My mom made this, and she makes really good bread pudding. We made bread pudding at the shops, and why are we moving? We are totally panning across like in a cinematic. We're very cinematic here today. So this is a bread pudding, and basically it's very simple. Like this is my mom's bread pudding, and so she uses bread, like leftover bread. At Spro, we would use, in our kitchens, we would use leftover croissants and leftover. So our croissant selection was regular croissants, butter croissants, pain chocolat, almond croissants, and raisin danishes. So whatever was left over would go into a big bin, and then once a week we would chop it all up and make a batch of, we would chop it all up and then put it in, and then as the kitchen needed it, they would use those leftover croissants for our bread pudding. Now this is not that. It's a different experience, but that experience was beautiful. And so this is just nice bread, nice quality local breads put together, and you make like basically a creme anglaise, and you soak the bread in a creme anglaise, which is sugar, eggs, and butter, and milk. Sugar, eggs, butter, milk, right? And you bake it, and then you put this like vanilla cream on top when you're done. Oh, that's good. I should not eat this entire thing. The nice thing is that the lighter character of the coffee does go very well with the creamy vanilla, and overall it's not a heavy bread pudding. It's a relatively light bread pudding, so it's very light in body, light in flavor. So actually, gosh, that's really good. Wow. Good. Maybe we won't even do anything with food today. Just eat this. Anton says, tart? Huh? Maybe you just haven't found the optimal way to do it yet. No, I think that I don't think necessarily that she's off. I mean, I think a lot of the light roast tend to accentuate the brightness, and that's where I think people think maybe saying tart, um, and it's always one of those things to me is like not everybody's going to have the same tastes for things, right? So I don't worry too much about that. For example, I discarded light roast because I only made an on an AeroPress. Then I tried a Hario switch and my mind was blown. Okay, that's a good point. Paige says, I've really gotten away more into light roast this year. I love the fruity natural lightish roasts. Nice. And Anton says, water can really mess with, absolutely. Water is a seriously important component. And if you're not controlling the water, then there's other issues that are very difficult to correct if you don't have a nice water. And it doesn't have to be this kind of thing where you're buying like distilled water and then mixing it with like custom minerals. You can do that, but you don't have to do that. I think it's important just to find a source of good water. In Baltimore, we're very lucky in that our Baltimore City's municipal water supply is actually excellent for coffee. It is probably some of the best in the United States. Like our water, every year that we would run tests on our water supply, it would come back, and let's say like the SCAA has the gold cup standard, and they have this whole like ideal standard for coffee water, and there was usually one aspect of that was like maybe 0.0005 ppms, parts per million out of the specification. And I was like, you know what, that's so minor of a variance that I'm not going to worry. But if you're like my friend down in Florida, and he was in Gainesville, when I went to see his shop, it was like massive reverse osmosis system, and I was like, good Lord, man, how much did you spend on this? And like, I think he spent a good $20,000 on his RO system, RO infiltration, and then, because you RO the water, so it strips the water out. Then you have to add, minerals to it to get the balance that you want. I was like, gosh, that is just terrible. Just another reason not to ever want to go to Florida. But they would, and this is true in a lot of places in America, because a lot of the water in our country is pretty hard. So but luckily here in Baltimore. So if you were to open a coffee shop and like have, a little bit ease, Baltimore is a great area to go to. We have great water. Great water. I think some of the best in America. Other than that, you have to bring in bottled water. Like actually where I live, we're not on the municipal water system, so I actually bring in bottled water here. Mostly Deer Park, which I think is fine. But where I live, we're on well water. And the well water is pretty hard. Like, I can tell when I need to replace the salts in our filtration system or in our softening system, because like when I'm showering, like if we really run out of salt and I've really neglected it for a few days, the soap doesn't even lather. Like, it's so hard. It's just like, oh, and then I'm like, I need to go to the farm store and get my salts because I don't want to have to fix the piping. So, water is super important component. I totally agree with you. Penny says, I think hoppy beer is bitter and gross. I agree with you. Like, I think I was open to it when I was younger, like when it was really, when the hops, the IPAs were not so hoppy, but now it's like, oh, no, disgusting. For me, disgusting. I'm not a fan. Coffee Cove says, I'm tossed between the 8mm HU high uniformity or core burst. Wait, is it HU high uniformity? Is that actually a brand name, or are these brand names, core and HU? Are they brand names, or are they just like styles? I heard HU mentioned, but how are the cores comparably? Anton says, if it tastes like wheatgrass, it's under. Oh, wheatgrass, yes. Wheatgrass is not a fun drink. Like I think it was like 1996. We were in San Francisco, walking around the Haight-Ashbury district, and we saw this cafe, this granola-ish cafe or whatever, and they were like, wheatgrass. And I was like, what's this wheatgrass? We take the wheatgrass and we grind it and we make juice out of it. Oh, really? All right. Let's try it. So it came out like a little espresso shot of wheatgrass. Like, yeah, if you want to go out and eat your lawn, yes, that's exactly what this tastes like. Lawn, like your lawn, like freshly mown lawn, like just walk outside, grab some grass off of your lawn and chew on it and then swallow it, and you've got the wheatgrass experience. That's totally what it's like. Which, in many respects, for me, it's neither here nor there. Nothing that I would ever want to do again necessarily. I don't feel any benefit. Of course, there's all kinds of health benefits. These people, of course, are saying there's all kinds of benefits. But the part that I dislike the most, and the reason why I would never do it again, is because for whatever reason, I had burps after that. It caused burping, and I burped for the next like 8 hours, wheatgrass. And I was like, and every time you burp, you get that wheatgrass flavor. You're like, oh God, this is disgusting. Never again. Never again. I don't hate on the granola people. I get it, but it's just not for me. It's just not for me. Like my cousin comes to town and he wants to go to the natural store, the natural food stores, and get the smoothies. And I'm just like, how much are these smoothies? $12, $15? And what's in it? I mean, he bought me one, and I was like, well, okay, it is pretty darn good. I can't complain. I won't say that it wasn't good. Keone says, I used to make bread pudding with Portuguese. Oh man, Portuguese sweet bread. If you guys are not familiar with Portuguese sweet bread, it's a big. You've probably seen it. If you're in the United States, you've probably seen it at some point. King's Hawaiian bread. They mostly sell them in dinner rolls because most people like them in dinner rolls. But in Hawaii, they would bake them they would bake these round like bowls, huge bowls, and it would be like, that's how we used to eat it, right? I never knew about these like buns. Dinner rolls are a recent thing, but you get the bowl. But the best thing was that we would go. King's Bakery used to be on King Street in Honolulu, and they had a coffee shop diner in front of the bakery. So we would go there, and you would get the King's Hawaiian bread French toast. And so remember, it's a big bowl. It's a big bowl, right, like this. It's a big bowl. It's like they cut into quarters, and they took this whole hunk, and then they dipped it in, the egg and milk wash, and then they griddled it. Mother of God! And they would give you like 2 or 3 of them. Mother of God! It would be like soft and a little bit fluffy, but soft because it's soaked through and then it cooked through, and you're just like, oh my God, man, this was like. I think there's still a King's Hawaiian Bakery diner in like Torrance, California, and I think they still offer this. Or if you can find the bowl-sized King's Hawaiian bread, you should go buy it. If you're not in America and you live in other parts of the world, you might look for something that would probably be similar. So I think that the sweet bread is actually a Portuguese import. So Portuguese sweet bread might be a good, reasonable, similar product. Again, look for it in the big bowl, cut it into quarters, or maybe cut it into 8s or 6s, and then make your French toast. Or what do they French call it? They call it can't remember. Pun something. Pun not pun monsieur, pun whatever. Pun toast. But we call it French toast in America. So croque monsieur. No, that's not right. I'm not going to sit here for the next 5 minutes trying to remember, because otherwise we'd just be sitting here in silence. I need to go somewhere and have someone else make it for me. Oh, you mean wheatgrass, or you mean the light roasted coffee? It's very uncoffee-like to me. Yes, I'm willing to experiment. Pay says, I guess I'm the ones I've chosen have still the code qualities I like, but are just fruitier than chocolatey. I don't like tea-like and floral coffee. So Paige, that means you're not necessarily predisposed to geishas, because they tend to have that black tea character. Anton says that also light roast pour over ground on 078 burrs is not exactly great. Cheap handmade grinders like the Easy Presso. Q Air would make much better light roast pour over. I get that right on the day that power plant has decided not to join us. Naomi says, Anton, I heard that too. I only use the 078s for espresso. Oh, interesting. Tart sounds like a water issue, to be honest. And Coffee Maker in Basel have 3 different taps for 3 different coffee styles. And you can get the water for them from home. Oh, that's an interesting approach. I got to remember to go check that out. Anton says, I don't know how the cores are, but I would go for ULFs or Ditting burrs. So we're universal light fitting. Not wasting money on geishas here, not my understood. Understood. Now also with the geisha, we did a dark roast on a geisha once. And I mean like full city, maybe full city plus. And it does change the character. So I wonder, like a lot of people are really trying to exacerbate those tea-like qualities of the geisha. And yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing. I mean, meaning that, you know, I think there's a lot more ways to express geisha than just this one way, or this main way that people are doing it. All right, let's go to our Ode Gen team. Can you see it? Can you see it? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to, see, here's the thing. When you turn it on, oh, it's still tight here. Okay, it's still tight. This plate comes off. And then from here, there are some screws. You know what? I'm just going to move you guys around here. Oh. Maybe I'm not. Unplug you from the wall. Okay, this is, I think maybe that's better, right? Because then I can work on it. Now we have to remove the screws and what do we need here? We need Phillips head screws. Does number 2 work? Number 2 works. Oh, you know what I need? I need a little bit of a magnetic. You know what I need too? I need my I think I need glasses so I can see. I'm at that point in life. So these 4 screws hold the dial in place. And so the last time we took this apart was also in this live stream when we had the clogging that jammed the whole grinder. So we had to take it apart to unclog it. So in the year that we've had this grinder, and we haven't even had this particular grinder for a year, we've just had some kind of, so this was here, right? That was there, just remember that. And then this is the pressure plate that holds everything together. So these 4 screws here hold that in. Now, okay, but this is what actually rotates. Now, there's a little, somebody had put a little notch right here. Look at that. Let me adjust this a little bit more again. Hang on one moment. Is that better? That's better. Okay, so you can see here, there's somebody, I guess, at the factory put this notch here. I don't know what that means. Maybe that means that, so Anton says that it's real. So right here, I'm feeling that it's pretty tight, which indicates that the burrs are too close. And if we look at this, that will be our full lock position, or a fully fine position. So I'm going to think, okay, that's pretty tight. If we go back to here, that should, it'll be helpful if I got, let me go get a quick cable. I need a cord. I have designed my work area so efficiently that I don't really need extension cords necessarily, so I'm a little bit at a loss for cords at the moment. Like I have outlets placed in strategic spots so that the cables from the actual equipment will reach. I know I have them right here. Hold on a second. All right, I got one. These are what we call stingers. 25-foot extension cables with very thick, enough to handle 20 amps of 120 volt power with the proper plugs. These are really called stingers, and they were designed for use in motion picture production. So you would have we would run these, or the grips, the electricians would run these, for everybody that needed power, and I have one left over from those days. So I'm going to plug that in here, which is probably a bad idea because this power strip tends to get overloaded. And that'll give us a little bit of a power boost. So now we're going to take this and we're going to, can we see that? Okay. Plug it in. And we should be able to turn this on and hear the performance. Let's go back this way. How far can we go this way? Oh, we can go a long way this way. Okay, so let's go this way. Can you hear that? Just a little bit of fluttering. No flutter, flutter. No flutter, flutter. We're going to stop it there. So we're going to say that's good. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to say that, well, first of all, let's go further and inspect the burst. Because one of the things I think Anton was saying before is that you probably are shaving your metal and, Oh, another thing you want to do, whenever you work on your gear, you should unplug it. Safety first, my friends, safety first. So let's take off this plate so you can see the interior. And was it Coffee Co. before you were talking about calibrating this? Or somebody mentioned calibration a few days ago. And this is, I'm presuming this is how you do it. This is how I would do it on other grinders. So I'm making the presumption here that the calibration of, or the setting of the grind setting is not that different than others. So here's the pressure plate that is connected. I think the burrs are, this is pushing against the burrs if I remember correctly. So this comes out. So this is machined aluminum. What's the machine? It feels like machined aluminum. So it's molded aluminum that's machined on this side. Actually, the machining is quite nice looking. And then we've got our key pin here that keeps everything locked in, and this is the actual burr set. Don't lose your key. That comes out, and there's the burr set. So do we see any, what we're looking for is any kind of metal shavings. I'm not seeing any metal shavings. Metal shavings. And then let's see. Maybe we might find metal shavings if we take our magnet. Actually, there was. Is that right? Maybe there was. All right. So there's your burrs. There's the burrs. This is the stock burrs from the Ode Gen 2. And we're going to put those back in. There is a spring here on the auger shaft. So what happens is that you put this back together, and it's this, right? Like we talked about this before on other streams about how burrs tend to work. This is a stationary burr. This burr is connected to the auger shaft and, which is connected to the motor, and this whole thing spins. Right, this whole thing will spin, and that's why there's a key. This key locks into the shaft, and that key locks into these little pieces here, these little channels there, and it rotates the entire burr set, or this half of the burr set. So as it's rotating, whichever rotation it's going in, we're using this pressure plate to control, to push it. What it's doing, it's pushing against this spring, and it's controlling the distance between the two burrs, right? So now we want to put this back together. And so when you put it back together, you kind of have to push this in so that the keyway will accept the key, right? It can only go one way, like that. And then we put the pressure plate back on. I put it down like this. So I should put it like this. Okay, like this. Line it up. Now you do have to hold on. Oh, is that right? Something that's just occurring to me, like what is controlling the depth though? Like we're talking about pushing it, but what is actually controlling how far it's being pushed? Oh, okay, there it is. I can see it now. So if you look at this, right, it looks kind of like there's a bearing. Is this a bearing? Oh, it is a bearing. So there's a bearing right here. And the bearing's connected to a shaft that here. And I'm guessing there's some kind of threaded shaft that this bearing is connected to. And if you look here closely, can you see it? Let me see. If you look here, you can see this. As I rotate it, it's slowly going up. Is that right? Going up? Maybe it's going down now. Oh, it's going down. This is going up. So there must be something we can do. So if I rotate this to full extension, wow, there's a long, okay, so that's full extension. So that is fully locked as far down as it will go. And then the other, but actually it doesn't matter how we set this up, we put it in, because there's no limitation to how much this will turn. The only limitation is on this piece. So we'll put this back in, and I guess I can put it in any way that I want, because it doesn't limit the way that it travels. I'm going to lose this piece. Let's put it back on the... These are Wera screwdrivers. They're magnetic. They're really nice. Like if you want to buy a nice set of screwdrivers, you know, when you want to buy nice tools, it's usually the Germans that make them. I don't know why. Germans and Japanese make nice tools. Americans make good tools. We make good tools. If you want nice tools, it's the Germans, right? Like you get Wera or Wiha, you get Knipex, Bondhus. I don't know if Bondhus is actually still European. You know, Mafel, Festool, Bosch is good too. So put this back together. And I did not snug up the screws. Kent says, I see maybe I should go for a natural. Oh, I'm totally falling behind. Am I totally falling behind? Let's see. Oh, Anton says he put metal shaving in his bingo cart. Nice, thanks. I appreciate the what do they call that? I appreciate the I don't know. I appreciate something. Yeah, maybe the 0 point. You know, I don't know what that really means, 0 point calibration. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to basically do something like that. I'm pretty sure that's. I'm pretty sure we're thinking on similar grounds. Make sure to clean the pressure. You know, I don't know if that. Okay, well, all right, fine. Since we have it halfway apart, we'll just continue. You're right. I should have wiped off the pressure plate. I did not. Oh. See, this is the difference between the American and the German. The German wants to watch all of those little tiny details. The American's like, we're cowboys, ready to go. We will do it. We will do it. Okay, put that back there. Pressure plate, what Anton's talking about, there's a little bit of like buildup right here on the pressure plate, so I'm just going to wipe it off. Make sure that it's clean. Okay, that'll do it, right? Okay, just make sure that the key is in the keyway and pressed up against it, because otherwise it won't align and it won't close. If you don't do that, it will not do its thing. Come on now, baby. There we go. One of the nice features of these Wera screwdrivers is that the tips are magnetized, right? So it'll hold on to your screws. But what I really like about it, and I don't know if you can see this too well, but here you can see there's a little bit of like lines on the tip. These are like laser etchings that are designed to be more grippy in your screw head, right? So it's meant to be more grippy, and it actually works pretty darn well. Like I've become a fan of these Wera screwdrivers. So, but that's only true in the larger size. The smaller sizes, I guess, is too small to put the laser etching. I don't know why the Germans aren't able to figure that out. I'm kind of disappointed by that. Okay. Again, we're not going to snug it up. We're just going to put them all in just to locate them, make sure it's located. And then now with the last one, then I can snug it up. And I like to do the cross pattern. I don't know if you necessarily need to do it in cross tightening, but it just makes me feel better because that's kind of how I was taught about these kind of things. Okay, so now we have it. Okay, so it's all in there. Where do we get the seizing? That's totally seized here. Like here, I can't even turn it anymore. Let's go back that way. Plug it back. Oh. Anton says, this is the V2. The burrs were co-designed by Lance Hendrick. Oh, I imagine it was, because there was on the inside of the plate, on the inside, it does say V2 on it. And yeah, this is the Ode Gen 2, so we've had a lot of problems with this, so I don't know if that's a good thing that Hendrick did this. Okay, so now it's turned on. Okay. Okay, that's where we are without any chattering. Oh. Okay, that's probably too... Oh, you know what? We have coffee here. Let us see what the coarseness or fineness of the coffee is at this setting. Okay, can you see that? Fairly fine. Fairly fine. That looks pretty good. All right, so we're going to use this as our main setting, I think. I'm going to start here. Let's make sure to clean the pressure plate from the grounds. Pay says, Kent, the one from black and white was advanced process, not 100% natural. Basically, Anton says you want to put it back together in a way so that it does so that it does the noise when you go to one step past zero on the dial. Oh, there's a zero on the dial? I mean, you can go past that? Okay, so let's see here. We're going to go all the way there and put that in. And where does that leave us with our plate? Mine does not seem to go beyond the, oh, there is, it does not go beyond the 1. And see, it's a 1. It's a 1. But I think that here will be pretty good. Okay, so now let's see if we go all the way coarse to this lock. Let's, what can I do with this coffee that I just ground? If we do grinding at this position, which should be the coarsest. Oh yeah, there's a good latitude in this grinder. Wow, maybe I'm feeling more appreciative of the grinder and its capabilities. That is a wide latitude. Look at that. Look how coarse that is. All right, that's good for French press, babies. Good for French press. All right, so I think I like that. Okay, but here's the thing. Right now, it's tight. Right here is tight as I'm turning it. Like I've got to, here to here, easy to turn. Here, now I've got to give it force. Why is that? If this is a zero retention grinder, what is causing this jam? Oh, see, there's a little bit in there. Okay, what the? You're watching this live. As I'm doing it, what is the binding here? See, I don't think I want to have it so that there is... Okay, now it feels okay. Who knows what's going on with this thing? This is the part where I'm finding irritation with the grinder. Is that it seizes and then it doesn't seize and... Okay, we're getting a little bit of fluttering. I don't like that, so I'm going to back it off. There. Ugh. So if I screw this back to... What's going on with that? Okay, I think that'll be all right. Anton says, just seems like that's good. Lance was only involved with the burrs. The best tool for working grinders is not the screwdriver, but the brush. Oh gosh, you and the brush. I'd like to see you take it apart with the brush. Just the pitch of the grinding already indicates coarser. That's a nice range. Boulders, it's tight because of the leftover grounds between the burrs. But if it's a zero retention grinder, why is there? I mean, there was not zero retention. Like there was. Look at that. That fell out after. But if it's supposed to be, if we've, and this is the part that I'm kind of like, if we put and we're using the Ode, the fellow Tally Pro Studio Edition, to measure our coffee in the studio, and we put in 20.2 grams of coffee, and when we do our retention weighing, we're still getting 20.2 grams. What is left in the grinder? That's the part that I'm kind of like, what's up with this? What is up with this? Is something lying? Are these two? Is this grinder and our scale in cahoots and collaboration to deceive us? That is the mystery. That is the mystery. Anton says zero retention does not include temporary retention between every grinding. Then what's the purpose of the grinder? Then what's the purpose of the grinder? Isn't the idea of all of these grinders now, these modern grinders, supposed to be zero retention so that there's nothing left inside the grinder? Like in the old days, with let's say a great example of this would be the Mazda Major Auto that I use is a great example of this. There's always going to be some amount of coffee stuck somewhere in this collar system. But my understanding, I thought the whole thing that you're paying for is that zero retention. So if that's the case, is it, that's, what's up with that is really what I'm saying. What's up with that? The noise you hear is not only from the last smallest bean shards. The noise you hear now is from, the grinders just find out, never need to open again. Okay, we're going to find out about that. You say that, Anton, but you know what? when we got the when this came as the replacement to the first one, I didn't think we would ever need to open it. But yet, this is the second time we've opened it. I don't really muck with this stuff. Oh no. I don't really muck with this stuff, you know, when we're not on the live stream. I just do it here because, uh-oh, the magnet is not working so well. Failure. Good Lord, really? It's just flying away. I don't know why. That's weird. Like it's being repelled. What in the... You can see this, right? You're seeing this. Okay, that's being repelled. Now I'm getting mad. I'm getting upset. It's like there's a force of nature. The Ode gods do not want me to put this back together. Okay, I used the smaller Wera, the number 1 Phillips head. It's called temporary retention. Well, I don't want temporary retention. I want 0 retention. What do we say here? What is bothering you is temporary. 0.1 gram of retention is in the burst. It is exchanged every time you grind. That's what's causing the resistance. Well, I don't know. Isn't that unacceptable? Even for your Germanness, like that, isn't that unacceptable? Okay, so we'll put the pressure plate or the faceplate back on, and that always goes on really easily. I think it's like latched and magnetic. There's a magnet, like 2 magnets here, I think, or 3 magnets, or whatever's holding it. Like I think it's magnetic, or no, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just, but it's not. That works fairly well. And now let's see. You know, this little bit of retention that you're talking about is a major reason why we're even doing this today. Okay, we've got full range now. Let's put a little more coffee in here and see what it looks like. See, there it is. There's your temporary retention. Okay, you know what? What time is it? Oh, it's 11 o'clock. Forget it. Okay, let's see. So presuming that there is coffee here, and I've got a scale that will not go down to this 0.1 resolution. So, but we've got some coffee in here, presuming that what Anton said. So we should expect to see coffee fall here now. Let me adjust the camera. Right, so we should expect to see some coffee fall onto the white. Now, so you heard it stalled for a moment and then spun. And then this little teeny tiny amount is what's causing all this hubbub. So here again, now that we're at the 3, seizing again. Okay, what the? And now 2. Let's go all the way back. All right, somebody explained this, right? Like, we set this. Now, what might be the issue is this thing. I was able to get this to kind of make a noise when I pressed down hard. So maybe we're too. Maybe this is too tight. All right, now you have seen me adjust this grinder, set it so that this setting was not touching the burrs. The burrs are now touching. You can hear them touching. It's only here that they're really not touching. And that's what? Almost 3 on the scale. All right, I don't really have answers to this, but that is, and then here's you can see the coffee down here. Yeah, don't squeeze it. I mean, we don't really squeeze it. The grinder's just fine now. No. You get 22 grams out because it includes 0.1 gram from the last grinding, and the new grinding leaves 0.1 in. Isn't that the 0.1 that you're talking about? Temporary retention is hard to avoid, so it is minimal. One way to get rid of it is including harp. I don't think I would have a problem with the retention if it didn't cause this issue. Now, is this so? If we presume that we pushed out this 0.1 gram, or even if we presume that we left it in there, what explains this? What explains this? Anton says it's called marketing. And Coffee says, want to try something? I saw a video that the key slot should be lined up to the 2 long lines above and below on the back plate, then insert the key. All right, let's do one more. Okay, we'll do one more. We have time. We have a little bit of time to try that. Gosh, if I knew it was going to take this long, we would have avoided brewing coffee altogether. I'm going to have to, send a link to the guys at Fellow and be like, hey, man, what is the deal with this? Why is it doing this? Sometimes people at customer service are like, well, did you do it right? I said, well, you can watch exactly what I did as I did it now. And then you can tell me what I did wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trained to fix these things, so I don't really know exactly how they work. I'm just using my intuition and years of experience in the field to figure that out. Okay, so we're going to take these panels off. I saw a video that key slot should be lined up to the 2 long lines above and below on the back plate. Okay, so you're saying, Coffee Cove, that there is. Okay, let's try. Let's see this. Pull this out. Okay, you're saying that this key line should be aligned with this? Is that correct? Okay, there's some coffee in there, Anton. There's some coffee in there. So this burr set is screwed into this machined aluminum plate. So this piece here, these little tabs, this back plate, and this looks like they're all one piece of machine. I guess maybe they grooved it under here and then slotted it and then drilled it. But if we're talking about lining this with this so that all of this is one line, there's no way to do that. Because this is machined into it. I'm almost 100% positive of that. But you know what? Since we've got this thing apart, we might as well look. Silly as it may seem. And indeed, I feel that this is silly. Oh, good Lord. Man, don't abuse the poor grinder. Don't be too harsh on it. If you open the Virtuoso, you'll probably find 20 grams of permanent 20-year-old. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But, you know, I don't think the Baratza claims to be the ultimate grinder of power in the universe. I don't know what really is claiming to be that today, but, you know, okay, so come on, baby. Today I have to go to Tractor Supply and buy some phosphoric acid. Oh, goodness. Okay, so there we go. Got all the screws removed, so we're going to pull this off and just hold the alignment. Now, as you can see here, this is all, well, maybe it's pressed. No, it's all machined. So this is all one piece of machined aluminum, although it looks like it's cast. So it's probably, this is all cast, and then this part is machined down. So they got the cast, yeah, you can see where the casting is, and then they machined it down. Fairly nice work. So there's no way to align that if that's what we're talking about. So let's put it back together. Now we better make sure that we get all the, see? Coffee grounds. Anton. Unacceptable, unacceptable. Oh, these are the fellow Ode Gen 2 brewers. Not the, what are the SP59s is what you guys call them? There's the aftermarket ones. Okay, put this back. Put this back. Camera's so close, I feel like I can't reach. Okay. Okay, Coffee Cove says yes, brush that out. No, the shaft. No, the shaft. This shaft? Wish I was there, hard to explain. Don't remove the burr. Well, the burr, you know, and removing the burr is not a big deal. I mean, at least it shouldn't be. Like if removing the burr and resetting it is going to cause massive issues, then what is it that you're paying for with this thing? Like, it should be serviceable. Like, I can tear apart, you know, any of the Mausers, well, the espresso grinders, you know, oh, now there is a problem. Oh yeah, what is going on with that? There we go, maybe that's better. Just align, make sure you got it aligned correctly on the base, that's all. Is it all? I don't know, this is not. It was probably a bad idea to remove this burr. See, this is why. Baratza Virtuoso forever. Okay, good. So, sorry. What do you mean? We have the grinder apart. You can't just say sorry now. We took it apart because you asked. Okay, so let's see. You said there was a line, though. You said there's a line we're supposed to align with the key, right? But that's what I'm saying. It's like it doesn't. If this is the line you're talking about, it won't do that. Like, that's just not physically possible. So maybe this way. Now let's try it again. Let's see what happens. Now we have the opportunity to reset everything. So hopefully this will make it better. This will make it better. Don't let grounds get below. I think we were good with that. I think we're pretty good with that. The outer ridge needs to be, that I think we're good there too, on the outer ridge. I guess we'll find out when we turn it back on in case it needs to blow up. Spin it to where it's aligned to sit on the shaft. Says Coffee Cove. Okay, let's see. One more time. Spin it to where aligned to the slit. What kind of language is that, man? Slit on the shaft. Okay, so you mean this, because this is the shaft here, right? This inner core here is the shaft itself. So in order to insert the key, it has to be aligned. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And if we don't align it and it kind of like is off, it won't even go back together. So the tolerances are pretty close. Am I following you correctly, Coffee Cove? Okay, we're gonna put this back on. Now the ball detent, there's a ball detent right here on the selector. I wonder if there's a place that that's supposed to go. Is that supposed to be at a certain orientation? Maybe at the top? Maybe at the bottom. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. I need to find that video. Better to watch that if I can find it. Okay, take your time. I'm going to put it back together. And if you find it, the video, just put the link and then I'll watch it later. But I'm feeling itchy to go buy my phosphoric acid. I have some rust that I need to neutralize today. I'm setting up a bandsaw that has some rust on the frame, and I need to make a mixture of phosphoric acid and ethyl alcohol, which will kind of do the pour 15 thing, meaning that once you brush it on, you leave it on for like a day, it will neutralize the rust, and then you can paint over it, and it should not rust after that point. But the hard part is, to buy phosphoric acid, you kind of have to go find it, right? It's kind of specialized, and you can buy it like as a, I'm getting it as a farm. That's from the farm store. They sell them at the farm store under dairy cleaner. So like to clean dairy instruments. Okay, so now we've got, that line is somewhere else in the world, but we're not going to read that. Oh, it's probably a better idea had I not done all this with the power plugged in. But let's turn it on anyway. Well, let's go back here. Okay, so here, you can hear it chattering. You can hear the chatter. Still a little bit of flutter. Okay, the flutter there, okay, we'll go here. Flutter there is pretty much all gone. And so this is the fine setting, right? There we go, fine setting. So that's, for fine, that's going to be pretty good. I mean, I'll be pleased with that. I'll be pleased with that now. So that's our fine setting. We're going to use that as our number one setting. No, okay, so we just ground there, Anton, right? So we just ground. So there should be your 0.1 gram of retention. And look at that. Look how smooth. Look at this. This is like what we want, right? So now let's go over here to full course. Do it again. A little bit of coffee. And our coffee is pretty coarse. Okay, good. Good. Anton says that is a chirp, so go coarser until it's gone, then put back together. And we did that the last time. That's what I'm saying. It's like, gosh, it's driving me crazy. And please always turn on before changing the grind size. I think that's only true if you go finer. So here, now we're back to being like, okay, so there it is. Again, right there, tight. Why? Is this the retention again? All right, you tell me now. This is like, we haven't changed anything. We're running a live stream. Everything is happening live. Okay, let's go there. Whoops. That's going to be our 0 point. That's going to be our number 1. If I grind a little bit, easy to rotate. Now let's go here. I'm going to try this. I go drop here. I'm dropping this much. It starts to seize right there. You can hear the chirping, which suggests that it's touching. All right, I can't explain this. Like, this is... Okay, one more time. We're going to go full course. We'll try to, so now it spins freely. Right, now we're spinning fine. So let's go full course. It seems that this is when it happens, right? So full course. And let's get that out of there. Now I'm going to take this off. So there's our coffee grounds, right? We're going to, again, right there it starts to seize. So let's watch. Okay, let's take that off. Make sure that's nice and clean. Anton says it's smooth because the temporary retention is gone. Yes, you did it correctly last time. No, I read what you wrote, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, so I'm showing you we're doing it as we're doing it. Like that's the thing that I'm saying. Is like, if this is clear, so even if there's retention, right? So there's some, now the tightness is gone, but what is with the sound, right? The way that it's running. The seizing is because the motor is well. All right, well that's. It's very weak. It's very weak. Yeah, it is weak. It is. That is weak. Anyway, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I gotta go buy phosphoric acid. You know. One of my favorite ingredients. Come on now. One of my favorite drinks is Coca-Cola, and nowadays Diet Coke, because. But what I like about the Coke over the Pepsi is the burn from the phosphoric acid. So the phosphoric acid really is, for me, the key. Because, if you're eating, like, let's say a burger or something like that and fries, and, it's kind of fatty, but you want something to cut through that. And that phosphoric acid that they're using in Coca-Cola cuts through that. And I really like the way that works. That's why I don't really enjoy Pepsi Cola, because it's like, it doesn't have that same kind of burn. It's probably bad for you, right? Like, it's probably not good to feel this burn, but whatever, man. YOLO. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this video. I'm going to send a message to fellow customer service and be like, hey, man, can you look at this video and tell me what you think about what is going on with this, because anytime that I get this, that I use it, and I guess we're isolating it now today, so that when you grind coarsely, and then you go to a finer setting, there's a bit of a seizure. Let's find. What if I ground this one bean? Okay, that doesn't happen. Okay, so let's stay back on. All right, now I don't have any answers. This is just very, very strange. Anton says, changing the grind size without turning the motor on is putting on more stress. I would be interested to know how close these burrs truly are, and how that's really stressful. I don't, because I just, maybe I'm just using. Maybe you're right. Maybe the key point that you said is the size of the motor, right? Like these are smaller motors, and I am used to using bigger grinders that have very big motors that are like massive. Like the one in the Mazda Major Auto is like this. Like it's massive. It's huge. It's like maybe half a horsepower or something like that. So these couldn't be anywhere near that power. So perhaps there's something to be said there. Because, in those grinders, if there's a little bit of coffee that may be causing the seizure in a grinder this size, it's going to power through that and just laugh at it. Whereas maybe these have smaller, these with their smaller motors, maybe it is my expectations that are off. I don't know. I'm interested in all of you guys that have all these other Time Moors, Zernos. Do you have this issue too, where you grind coarse and you try to turn it and it's seizing? I'd be interested to know that. They're going to tell you not to go finer without turning it on first. Well, I mean, let's try another test on this. Let's try another test on that, a variation on that test. So if I take coffee and we go full, if I take the coffee, go full course. This time I'm grabbing a full handful. Clear it out. Okay, now before I turn this on, I have to go full. Before I turn it, but I don't know if it's seizing, right? So let's see. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of seizure there. So let's turn it on. Now I'm back to full course again. So is this normal? Like now it'll be fine. Why is it touching here? We've set this position to not do this sound. There, it's fine. Are we just going too far? Is there like the tolerance is not tight enough so that it drifts or something? Anton says yes, that is normal. It's not touching. This is not touching. What is that then? I mean, if it's not touching, then what's making the noise, right? So, anyway, I will send the link to this video to fellow customer service and see what they have to say, and they'll let us, maybe they'll let us know what they think, and we'll have better answers to these issues in a future episode. Kent says, I use my Ode to daily for decaf every time after grinding. Do you only use it for decaf? Do you just not like it? You're like, oh, you only have, Ode, only decaf for you. Every time after grinding, I run it without beans and twist the dial back and forth a few times. That way it's always good to go the next time around. All right, I find that to be a little bit irritating. I don't know why you need to do that. Is it because it's a horizontal feed to the burrs? I don't know. Again, I don't have any answers. Naomi says, I'm looking forward, very forward to someday I'll learn how to read English. I look forward to fellow suggestion. Very curious, absolutely. And Kent says it's not touching. You should not be touching. You should not be touching. Touching is not nice. All right, so that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much for tuning in and hanging out with me here today and trying to see what's going on with this fellow Ode Gen 2. Now, overall, while I may be here this last hour and plus bitching about this grinder, it has been overall a nice performer. Like, I've actually enjoyed using it. Like, it has been quite enjoyable. It's had some issues. Like I said, the Virtuoso has been bulletproof and has basically never died and really caused no problems unless I went too far with the hopper and it shuts off. This one is the second one that I've had. It was replaced last year after it just up and died. Electronic issues, and that can be rectified. I sent this my other grinder up to because fellow was like, keep the grinder, we don't want it back. Like, all right. So I let you guys know if anybody wanted it. We could arrange for sending it up there. And so Baldhead called me and was like, hey, can I get that? And I was like, all right, sure, man, let me send it to you. And so he's found a way to work the electronics and make it work, and it's been working fine for, gosh, I guess almost, a good 10 months now. Then the other issue we had with this was a clogging issue several months ago. So basically, I don't know, it happened on the live stream again. It just basically clogged and jammed and couldn't get it done. So then we had to take this whole assembly out to clear out the auger area. So third issue was this one, and because we're just trying to see, like, why is it chirping? Like, why is it? And Anton and you guys were like, oh, you're probably getting metal shavings. Oh, metal shavings, probably good for my magnesium input. That's less than 0.1 gram of bean shards that's making the noise. They are in a blind spot of the bird geometry where they can't exit until the new coffee is being put in. All right, I'm with you. We'll see. I just find it I find it irritating. I find it irritating and disturbing. We don't want to have any kind of issues or the burr sets to go bad. Anyway, so that's it for today. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. Back again tomorrow with another episode of the Coffee Q&A, more coffee. And yeah, so hope you have a great day, a great night, or wherever you happen to be in the world. And see you next time. Let me just turn this off now.